Hey, dude, we're live.
Oh, shit. I know we're doing that today.
What are you doing working out over there then?
Maybe we should pre-record these.
Instead of going live?
Yeah, this is scary.
Really?
We don't know what's going to happen.
It could go a lot of different ways.
It might go sideways
Karl.
today.
There's lots of moving pieces to today's episode.
There are, yes. This is a big one today.
All right, let's get it. Let's get it.
Warning, listening to the creep off might leave you triggered. This episode may contain murder, rape, laughing at murder and rape, ableism, Lenny Dykstra, serial killers, smile-talking, fat-shaming, child abuse, drug abuse, pizza abuse, victim blaming, and the state of Florida.
I'm going to give the people what they want. Sensation, horror, shock.
I'm going to deliver the goods because I'm alive and I'm not backing down. Cuckoo, cuckoo.
Hamburger, I ain't going to have it.
Disgusting, vomit-inducing thing.
Hola, creepos. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite true crime podcast, the show about creeps by creeps for you creeps. I'm your host. My name is Vinny, and this sack of shit in the box next to me is Karl Hamburger.
What is happening, Vinny Paulino? I thought we were friends. What just happened? What's going on here?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I not felt good since last week's episode.
Oh, why is that, buddy? What's going on?
Well, I think you're going to find out that the fans are none too pleased with you right now.
They're not pleased with me.
Mhm.
What have I done wrong?
Oh, this who me nonsense.
Yeah, come on. What are you talking about?
What are you, Putin?
I've done nothing wrong here.
You've invaded the Ukraine, my friend. No, what you've done, sir, is you are for the first time refused to do a consequence.
Yeah, it was a really stupid consequence driving to Gary, Indiana. It's just, I will make it back to Chicago sometime. If you want, I can just do it whenever I can get there. But I don't think you want that. I think you want consequences to be done.
And you called me a loser for saying that I would go and do it.
Yeah, that is kind of something a loser would do.
Oh, I want to fight you right now. All right. Well,
I wasn't wrong.
You are wrong. You're definitely wrong. If I'm a loser, then all those creepomaniacs out there, brother, are losers too.
No, that's not true. There's a lot of cuzzaroos out there who are fine folks.
Jesus Christ. All right, Karl, fine. I want to bring on our results girl to settle our tie. Right now, we are tied at 4-4. Someone at the end of this episode is spinning the wheel behind me.
That's correct.
Now, Karl, for some reason, even though you bailed on doing your consequence to Gary and said, I'll do anything else, whatever, you somehow dictated the terms of how this was going to go.
Well,
and you fucking Jedi tricked me because I didn't even realize you did it until like an hour after I left. You left.
now, hold on a second.
Like, I feel like I'm a slow asshole now.
You
like,
are,
you really got it over me.
You are a slow asshole, but hold on a second. That's not true because I was going to give you the choice of what my consequence would be. And you decided to give the listeners the choice. So you actually dictated.
What I'm referring to is you saying that you would do if
Yeah,
okay. You said that if everybody votes for you,
yep,
and you win this week and you win and I have to spin the wheel,
yep,
that you would let them pick your consequence.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, that's what you said.
It's a pretty good move on my
that
part.
still involved me spinning the wheel.
Pretty good move on my
and
part.
then you said, hey, if I lose, I'll spin the wheel twice.
Right. Correct.
Okay. I am so stupid. I am how did I agree to this?
It's a good
There's
deal.
So many awful things I should have just said, yep, I'll pick it. I should have just said, yep, I'll pick it.
You should have. And also, I want to point out there's a reason why I didn't tell you that was my plan before the show, because I knew it would take a little while to figure out what I was up to.
Oh, okay. Thanks for the rope-a-dope.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to bring out our lovely results girl, Jessica, to find out what's going to happen.
We are tied 4-4. The winner of this week gets to avoid the wheel of consequences.
Either I'm spinning and Karl is getting do a consequence you all picked, or Karl is spinning twice today.
That's correct.
Okay, Jess, ready?
Okay,
I'm going to build it up because it's a tie. With 260 to 131,
Whoa.
66.9% of the vote. Karl, you get a chance to do the consequence because Vinnie wins.
Please.
Come on.
And this is a huge deal that's going down right before our very eyes here.
Okay, Karl.
So I'm spinning twice today, is what you're telling
Oh,
me.
yeah. In fact, I'm about to taunt you in the most boomer way possible
Okay.
by asking you a simple question.
Great.
Fuck you, dude.
All right. Now,
I may be slow, but I beat your ass.
I'm not going to raise a stink about this, Vinny. I did notice late in the week, I was in the lead by 53% of the vote. And now you're telling me that I lost by 66%.
Okay, so fun facts I learned.
Do we know that
One
the
person
voting is
voted
working?
for you 40 times.
Okay.
So we know that. We went through and examined all of the IP
I
addresses.
got to start selling like VPNs or something. I don't know. Who are these podcasts?
Dude, we
People do
sent you the
VPNs.
raw results data. You have the results data. Call the fucking My Pillow guy
Okay.
and fucking get the shit together.
Okay.
And here to join me in my victory celebration, folks, you know from Tell 'em Steve Dave, it's our buddy Bryan Johnson.
I don't know why I should feel victorious, but somehow I do.
Oh, did you vote for Vinny?
Brian.
I might have had, my hand may have been forced under the circumstances.
I'm surrounded by assholes. I feel like Spaceballs over here.
Yeah, you're fucking Spaceballs, all right. Pal, I'm so thrilled. I don't know what to do. You're going to have to spin the wheel twice today.
Principled
Now-
Uncertainty says, this was legit. I didn't even cheat for Vinny this time.
Thank
All right.
you.
There's
Thank
a lot
you.
of shenanigans going on this show. I have a feeling.
Well, I want to discuss this with you because I know at the end of the episode today, we are going to be spinning the wheel. Count them. Not one time, 2 times, baby.
That's 2 chances to pass the spin.
Now, here's
2
what we
chances.
have on the board right now. Okay? It is not 2 chances to pass the spin because
Sure.
I will give you 1 chance on pass the spin for losing this round. Your make good, there will be no pass the spin on that fucking wheel, sir.
No, you're not changing the rules. It's the
I most
wheel
certainly
will
am.
speak. The wheel will speak.
No,
This
absolutely
is not
not.
the chance.
You do
I
not
might-
get to just bail
No.
out of consequence
No.
and have an opportunity to weasel
Yes, I do.
your fucking rat
That's
face
how the
out
game
of
is
it.
played, my
No
friend.
fucking
Who's
way,
changing
rat
the rules
face.
now? No, who's changing the rules?
Me, baby. I'm changing the rules.
I don't agree to this. Let's put a poll up on Twitter right now. Actually, don't do that. Don't do that.
Let your super chat speak for you, folks. How about that?
Okay, there you go.
Is
Vin-
this
Vinny-
all allowed to double?
Vinny, are you as awful as Karl if you're going to change the rules in the middle of the game?
Is it really changing the
Thank
rules,
you,
though?
Brian. Thank you. Yes,
Well,
it
if
is.
the pass is always supposed to be up there, I
Mhm.
feel like he should have the opportunity to. You know, it's not going to happen, bro. You know, it's
May I
not going to happen.
May I make a clear argument on this?
Sure.
I believe that Karl is the one who breached the rules.
Oh,
And
yeah.
therefore, when desperate times call for desperate measures, this is someone who has just said, nope, the wheel already spoke.
Can
You
I-
denied the wheel.
Can I make a point?
You said, fuck you,
Hold on.
wheel. I'm going to do what I
Hold
want.
on, Vinny. Let
You
me make a point real quick.
thumbed your nose up at
Let me make one point.
Fuck you!
Good point.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's hard to argue.
Showed me. sure showed me. But no, I don't think you get to just bail on, have an opportunity to bail on the pass. With
Whoa,
the pass to
hold on a
spin.
second. No, so you're changing past the spin to TBD? How is that?
Well, you're gonna
That's not
let
going to
Brian.
satisfy anyone.
I was going to offer, because number 1 on the wheel is winner's choice, which would be me. I was going to offer, if it lands on that, and make it Brian's choice because he's joining us on the show today.
In what world are you a winner? That's what's wrong with this
The
show right here.
goddamn Dabbleverse, Karl.
The
Dabbleverse. I
declaring
win.
himself a winner tells me this show is fucked. There's a problem that we have with this show.
When we live in a world where like comic books and movies have taught us there's infinite realities, I could be a winner in one too. Vinny,
Fuck yeah. Thank you,
I agree.
Brian.
Okay.
Thank you, Brian. Finally.
It takes a multiverse for Vinny
Yeah.
to do.
in the multiverse, I'm a winner. I'm a black lady who rides a motorcycle. It's pretty cool. It's a great Spider-Verse reference. Nobody got it, but Jess. All right. Folks, we're going to thank Jessica for coming out today. Were there any comments or thoughts about Karl's bailing on his consequence on the Reddit page?
Yeah. Someone
Oh,
said,
yeah.
why bother voting if Karl won't do his consequence anyway?
Yep. Good point. Stop voting for Vinnie. Don't even bother. I agree.
What else we got? It's super sweet that Karl would let Vinny skip his consequence and instead do one of Vinny's choosing in his stead if he wins. Mighty white of him.
Yeah. Sure is mighty white of him. Oh, motherfucker. All right. Well, thank you, Jessica. Follow Jess Daydreaming on social media, and we'll see you soon.
Jess, I'll tell you what. We'll give you the week off next week, okay?
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was going to South Carolina anyway.
All right.
Have fun.
The Gators are going to get her.
Vinny,
Karl,
nobody listens to you on this show. Karl doesn't listen. Jess is like, I'm fucking taking off anyway. I don't care what Vinny says. You gotta, your pimp hand it's not strong, Vinny. It's
I'm fucking winding up a backhand, Bryan Johnson. Don't you
okay.
worry.
All right.
Don't
I won't
you
count
worry.
you out. I won't.
Don't ever count me out.
All right. Well, I'll be spinning the wheel twice later on in the episode.
Great.
Let's move on with the show because we have a competition. We have another round to start up. We are tied 0-0 for this next round. And what we do now is we start with a wild card. Every time we start a new round, there is no specific creep category. We just find the creepiest creeps and make our case.
Yep. So, Karl, I am going to have you ring that bell.
Okay.
And let's get it going.
Since you won, you will start.
That's
Karl
correct.
is either super focused or frozen on my screen.
I'm super focused. For some reason, Vinny has all these cameras and he decides to use the one that doesn't work on me. I don't know why.
I switched it out. I switched out the cables. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Thanks. I actually thought you would appreciate that because it freezes. You could be over there taking a nap. It's basically the equivalent of fucking having the glasses with the eyes on the front.
Sure.
All right. So, folks, we've heard a lot recently about the Gilgo murders. Also known as the Long Island serial killer case. Yeah. You guys familiar with it?
Yeah.
It's very much in the news.
The next door neighbor called into the Drew and Mike show last week. It was very exciting.
Really?
Yeah.
I got to get a listen to that. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is a string of unsolved murders. The victims, mostly female sex workers, were discovered along a parkway in Suffolk County, New York, during the years 2010 to 2011. An architect by the name of Rex Howerman was apprehended recently after DNA evidence linked him to the murders of at least 3 of those women. Now, we're talking 2010, 2011, the height of technology for tracking down DNA. People are great at it at that point. It's
Sure.
It's very hard to get away with this many murders for that long this day and age, is my point. So my question is, what took so long to catch a 6'4" creepy guy from Massapequa who had 92 gun permits? Is my question, Karl. What took them so long?
He did a great job covering his tracks, Vinny.
No, Karl.
Oh.
The answer is incompetence at the top.
Okay.
It's the answer.
I
And
see.
that's why my creep today is someone who is intricately involved. And his former colleagues dubbed him as a psychopath who was always, quote, horny with delusions of grandeur. They also said he was a sex-obsessed narcissist and a middle-aged bachelor with a vulgar disregard for social niceties. My creep today is an example of the guy who is the best hang gets the job, combined with hiding in plain sight. It's former Suffolk County Sheriff James Burke.
Who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck?
Sounds
Karl,
exciting.
This is a crazy story, and you're going to love it.
I can't wait.
I picked the entertaining story this week.
I think Brian just fell asleep with his eyes open now.
Yeah, Brian's frozen now. That's great.
You're boring the hell out of him.
Brian left 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, he's doing the Eric Cartman thing
Oh,
when he pretends to freeze up.
So, Karl, this guy became the chief of police in the middle of 2011. And by 2016, he was sentenced to federal prison.
Okay.
That's how good of a sheriff he was.
That's not good. We lost Brian.
All
That's
right.
not good.
I'm sure he'll be back. Now, this guy got involved with law enforcement at a very young age, Karl. And because he got involved in the way that he did, it really helped him climb the scales at the police station in Suffolk County. Because at 14 years old, he was the witness of a murder.
Okay.
And he testified. Now, what he testified to is he caught someone stealing someone else's bike. So I assume this would piss you off.
Yes.
He was a
correct.
rat,
Yep.
right? He testifies in this murder case, and the district attorney at the time encourages him to become a cop. So, long story short, he does become a police officer, and he was a real bad one. A terrible cop, Karl. Here's some things he was accused of. He had a sexual relationship with a prostitute in 1993. Her name was Loretta Rickenbacker. She's the mother of his adult child now. In an interview, she claims once they were at a diner and she left something at her house and asked to use his police car. He gave her the keys. He left his gun and his gun belt in the car, gave his hooker girlfriend the keys.
The girlfriend.
Yeah.
Trust her.
And she takes the car and disappears. Guess what she goes and does with it?
What's that?
She goes back to her house and starts smoking crack with a bunch of other people.
Now, Vinny, the creepiest part about this that you didn't even point out is the fact that this guy's fucking a hooker without a condom and finishing inside her.
Yeah.
That's
in the early
move.
90s.
That's a creep move right there.
Oh, very much
what are you
so.
doing?
So, ratted on somebody for stealing a bike, didn't wrap it up with hookers. Disgusting. Crack smoking hookers. So, Burke's gun ended up in another crack house. Other police officers recovered it. He was reprimanded for that. And another time, Karl, he was called out by his peers for allegedly having sex with Rita in his squad car while wearing his uniform.
Oh, wow. That's kinky.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And this spawned an internal affairs investigation he was pretty pissed off about. He also became very close with a madam named Heather Malone. She ran a prostitution ring, and she would actually accompany Burke to work events.
Okay.
So he would take like the madam to the police ball, to the policeman's ball.
It's his girlfriend, Vinny. Well, just because that's what her job is.
Yeah. They also found out later that he was communicating information to her discreetly through pagers.
Okay.
They had codes and stuff like that. Now, also according to the Daily Mail.
Can I guess what the code was, Vinny? 6969
8008.
Yep.
Something like that. According to the Daily Mail, a sex worker named Leanne alleged that Burke often attended drug-fueled sex parties with escorts in Long Beach.
Sweet. She
claimed that he forced her to have rough sex with her and the former police chief, and alleged that she once saw him grab a girl by the hair and drag her around. The Daily Beast profile for Burke mentioned that the disgraced officer was well known to have a penchant for not only frequenting sex workers, but for indulging in drugs. Now, I'm not going to kink shame this guy.
I was going to say,
they're all fucking adults.
This guy sounds kind of cool. I mean, you have to admit.
But let me ask you a question.
As far as a police officer goes.
You want this guy in Vice. Do you want him to be the police chief?
I don't care. I'm not the one
okay.
murdering hookers.
Well, Karl, he becomes the chief of police in 2012, mainly on the recommendation of the lawyer from when he was a kid, who was the district attorney of Suffolk County. They're like, oh, give it to the guy who fucks hookers or does drugs all weekend. Make him the chief.
Okay.
First order of business.
I don't
Karl.
think attorneys get to choose who the chief of police
The
is.
district attorney recommended him, and he was appointed.
All right.
Yeah. He was also like the chief investigator for his office for a while. So like these guys.
So he must have done a pretty good job. That is what you're saying. I agree.
Very good job. Now, the first order of business when he took over the police, he opened a makeshift bar, which was open for every night for drinks in his office. So he just turned the police station into like his social
Again, this
club.
guy sounds awesome.
Okay. Well, let's hold on.
Okay.
His subordinates also had him. He was having his subordinates conduct surveillance on his girlfriend and girlfriend's ex-boyfriends. He also was a dick to work for.
Okay.
He held grudges.
A police officer who was a dick? Jeez, I can't even imagine it.
One guy named Pat Cuff testified he was demoted 4 ranks and sent to work in a property warehouse when Burke was promoted in 2012. Cuff said he led the internal affairs investigation into Burke in the 1990s.
Okay.
So this was the guy who had to investigate him when he fucked the prostitute in the back of the cop car. So the first thing he does is he opens up a bar and he's like, mailroom, bitch. Evidence room.
I would do that too. Brian, welcome back to the show, buddy.
Thank you. I don't know what happened. My internet dropped out and I'm hardwired and I got it all going on and it doesn't fucking matter because I'm a boomer and I'm not good at tech. I could just sit here. I could just sit here and fuck it up somehow.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I thought it was a masterful troll on both of us that you would just put up a still picture of you.
Yep.
All right. So, Karl, all of these things, he's very unprofessional. And within his first year, okay, we're talking 11 months, his downfall starts.
Okay.
Because one day, in December of 2012, someone broke into his police-issued SUV outside of his house and stole a duffel bag.
Okay.
The thief was a kid named Christopher Loeb. He's a heroin addict who was basically doing breaking and entering into cars for make all of his money.
That's some balls to go after the cop car, I gotta say.
I agree.
Maybe not a smart move, but he's got a pair.
So Sheriff Burke lost his goddamn mind.
Sure.
And it was a blood vendetta to get his bag back. all hands on deck. Now, mind you, there's a serial killer. They're dropping bodies off by the bay, but this is literally in the thick of all of this.
Sure.
Where the fuck is my bag? He's got the bar open. He's fucking losing his mind for this bag. They find the kid who took it. They bring him to the police station. They shackle him, and they shackle him to the floor. Okay. Burke barges into the room and punches this kid square in the face.
Nice.
This is the sheriff. Punches
Nice.
him square in the face and then started shaking his head and screaming, "Where's my bag?
Why?
Where's my bag?"
Why become a cop if you don't want to rough people up, Vinny? That's one of the perks of the job.
Well,
You don't make a lot of money, but you get to punch people in the face.
You're not allowed to punch people.
Oh, you're
in the
not
face,
allowed to? Okay.
especially in front of 10 other cops. You're not allowed to do
I
that.
thought that was okay. I didn't
Somebody's woke.
yeah, right.
He then threatens him. He says, "You're a dopehead. You're a dopehead. Well, how about I give you a hot shot right now, motherfucker?" And what that means is a tainted dose of heroin. He's like, "How about I murder you? How about I fucking inject you and kill you right here?"
Okay.
Not good things to do. Not great choices. So at that point, Mr. Loeb, who was very upset, says, "I don't know why you're mad at me, pervert."
Oh.
To which point, Sheriff Burke gets really embarrassed and flustered and starts beating this guy up more. And he's beating the shit out of him in front of everybody. And it turns out what was in the bag was Sheriff Burke's lingerie.
Oh, really?
His dildo.
Mm-hmm.
All of his porn.
You sure it's not his girlfriend's lingerie and dildo?
Well, his girlfriend explained where the lingerie came from at the trial.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. He was a big fan of smoking crack and walking around in drag.
No shit.
Yeah. And as well as a box of his favorite cigars.
Okay.
So they were all in his bag, and he got very, very upset. Now, here's the really scary thing here. Loeb has later alleged that one of these DVDs, now he's done interviews recently, like when he stole the bag, he opened it up, popped in one of the DVDs. He's like, "Fuck, I'll watch some free porn I found."
Mm-hmm.
And he says it was a snuff film.
Really?
Like a real fucking snuff film.
So we actually got Hillary Clinton's duffel bag is what you're saying.
I think he got the Vince Foster snuff film.
Okay.
But that might explain why the police chief was freaking the fuck out so hard. And this
Yeah,
Loeb
but
guy,
that also would tell me to act like that's not yours. Don't tell anyone that your shit got stolen.
but it's too late. He's a drunk crackhead who's been screaming about his duffel bag for a couple of days.
That's pretty dumb. That's pretty dumb.
Yeah, it was pretty dumb.
But
Especially
like Carl said, he could have put it on the girlfriend. I would have been like, "Yes, my girlfriend is a 46 long." Like, yes, she wears a husky size.
She likes her laundry baggy. What's the problem?
Yeah.
right? Now, here's the fun thing. At this point, the lawyers come in, like the prosecutor, people from the DA's office come in, and this guy just got the shit kicked out of him by the sheriff, and he immediately tells on him.
Yeah.
Ruh-roh.
Yep.
Burke is now ordering all the other cops to lie for him. He is like, hide the footage. He's doing everything he can to cover up what he did because he knows he went over the fucking line. Now, you know who came in to investigate this? It was more than internal affairs. The fucking FBI got involved, Carl.
Feds get involved, eh?
And
that's not good.
How convenient the feds were already there because there is a serial killer dropping bodies off down by the lake.
Sure.
So if you're the sheriff and you want to save your job and you don't want the FBI poking around in your business, what do? You tell the FBI, "We no longer need your assistance in this investigation," and the FBI has to leave.
Is that true?
Yes.
No.
It is true. It's 100% true.
Okay.
I mean, unless it's like it's not a federal crime. Murder is not a federal crime. You ask for the assistance of the FBI and then they come and assist.
Okay.
So he told the FBI to fucking book it and get out of town.
All right.
Either way, he ended up pleading guilty to beating the fuck out of that guy. His girlfriend testified against him. All sorts of people came out about what a creepy pervert he was. And folks, in February 2016, he was found guilty to federal conspiracy and civil rights charges and served 46 months in prison. And he was released to a halfway house in November of 2018. So my point here is, why did it take so long? Because this guy fucking sent all the resources away to cover up the fact that he smacked a guy around who found his dildo.
All right. Fair enough.
That's my creep this week. Sheriff James Burke.
Very compelling story. Now, Vinny, I want to get caught up on some super chats. We have people who are communicating with us.
We got some big ones
We
coming
got some
up
good
here.
ones coming in here. Warren $2. Give Karl the false hope. Hashtag Vinny Winnie. Yeah, put it back on the board. I agree. De La, $2. Vinny's a winner in fraudulent votes. Correct, De La. Thank you. Radish Diff with €2 says, shut up and let Bryan destroy someone, please.
Fair enough. We'll be quiet soon. He'll have his turn.
My boy CMOS 4044 with €5. Hi, Karl and Vinny. You guys are awesome, and you will read my super chat. Hi, Bryan. Also, I'm currently sporting my 4-color Demons hockey shirt.
All right, Cosmos or CMOS 4044.
Well done,
Man.
And back again, CMOS 4044. No mercy for consequence Welshers.
Yeah, Welcher, he called you.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, Deadfool.
Deadfool, thank you very much. You know, Deadfool is going to get one of these.
Yay, super chats.
And I'm going to give him a $49.99. Thank you, sir. Okay, I convinced the adult special education teacher, let me substitute teach for a day. What was the website I'm supposed to have the vote for video on?
See? I knew it.
That's the creepoff.com, Deadfool.
Yes, it is.
And I'm annoying says, gave us $4.99, said vote for Vinny.
That is annoying.
I'm a fan.
That is annoying. Thank you for that.
This is some backlash you've faced, Karl. I don't think I've ever seen something like this on the Creep.
We have never gotten more voicemails in a week ever.
This is people are against me on this one. I feel like, Vinny, based on the voting.
Everyone but Dayla.
When I definitely brought the bigger Ukrainian creep last week, but somehow I lost. So.
Big time. Dayla, thanks for the $2. Says Vinny has the audacity to sell a cheat. Vote Karl. That's bullshit.
All right.
I felt that bringing Chikatilo was the same as bringing like that Willie Pickens guy that I brought. Kind of easy. It's been well done, but
you're right.
I was able to win. So Karl, there was no reason you shouldn't have won unless there was some sort of bad feelings about you.
I think it was a backlash.
Can I please point out something about that before Karl presents? Because I would like to speak to what you just said, Bryan.
Go ahead.
I presented Chikatilo already, and I did a way better job. I had all the video of him yelling in court about his penis not working and ranting and raving and waving it at people. Karl just played a documentary that he found that was boring as shit.
All right, I lost, Vinny. All right, relax. You don't have to rub my face in it.
You know how you could have won, Karl? You could have reenacted that scene without the video footage.
That's what I should have done. Should have whipped my package out
in front of a bunch of Russian old ladies who faint. It'll be great.
Now, is Bryan presenting a creep this week, or is it just you and me?
No, it's Bryan's presenting one too.
Yeah, I got a wild card guy.
Are we going to make Bryan go last, or do you want him? I'll leave it up to you, Bryan. You want to go next, or do you want to go last?
I'll go last.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Well, then, in that case, I'll present to you my creep. My creep is the son of a man named Blackie Dammit. Blackie Dammit's real name is Michael Kiedis. Michael Kiedis had a son named Anthony, and when Anthony was 12 years old, he went with his father to the Rainbow Room, and they were hanging out there with his father and his father's girlfriend, who was 18 at the time. And Anthony asked, Dad, can I have my first sexual experience with your girlfriend? And Blackie says, sure, son. And they go back to the house. His dad builds a big bed out of 4 mattresses and watches his son Anthony bang his girlfriend.
He bought a fort? He built a
fort for his 12-year-old son to bang his 18-year-old girlfriend. This started what would turn into be a rather debaucherous lifestyle for one Anthony Kiedis.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Now, he wrote a book called Scar Tissue. In that book, his autobiography, he admits to dating Ione Skye a few days before her 16th birthday, meaning that Kiedis would have been approximately 24 years old at the time. The book also contains a topless photo of Skye without an age specified. So he's got an underage girl that he's dating. He's bragging about it in his book, and then he's putting topless photos of her in the book as well.
That in this day and age, that's like putting a topless picture of your girlfriend on your Instagram.
It's not a good move. What am I hearing right now?
I don't know. It sounds like something's coming up from somewhere.
Okay. I don't know what that was.
Okay.
So Kiedis in his book, wow, there's a lot of things going on in this book. So he wanted Skye to move in with him.
Nice.
In his house. 16-year-old girl. He says, come on, move in with me. He gets back from tour, and the mom's not having it. At the time, Anthony Kiedis was a heavy user of heroin and coke, and he was using half-eaten watermelons as candle holders in a house with no furniture. So the mom's like, I don't know about that, but Apparently, he then went up to the mom with no shirt on. His arms are bleeding after just injecting heroin. Begs her to let Sky live with him, and she says yes. So, mom of the year over here.
Oh, so she is the creep? I still don't know who the creep is.
Oh, we'll get to that, buddy. Don't
Okay.
you worry about that. Anthony Kiedis also admitted to having sex with someone after about 5 hours of nonstop, subtle, loving coercion. Sounds a bit date rapey to me. I don't know why you'd write about that in your book.
Loving coercion.
Yeah.
Subtle loving coercion.
Subtle loving. Yeah, 5 hours straight of it.
Come on, baby. Come on. Just come on.
You know you want
Come
to
on.
suck it.
You know. Come on.
It's not going to bite you.
5 hours. I would do it after fucking 1 hour.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Woman for 5 hours put a fight. She had both of her hands on his leg, just pushing her head away from his crotch for 5 hours.
Like she was getting a swirly. No. From an article posted on April 3rd, 1990, the lead singer of the rock group Red Hot Chili Peppers was convicted Tuesday of sexual battery and indecent exposure after a concert in suburban Washington, D.C. Anthony Kiedis, 27 at the time, was accused of touching a woman's face with his penis after a concert at George Mason University.
That old gag?
The woman, a student at the university who served on the university's program board, said the incident occurred outside the band's dressing room after the concert. She got a sweaty dick and balls being shot into your face after a Red Hot Chili Peppers concert in 1989. Not a fun scene.
Is that before Blood Sugar Sex
That
Magic?
was, yes.
Yeah, so he's not as famous yet.
He's not famous.
He's still doing
yet.
the George Clinton sounding shit at this
Yeah,
point.
correct.
Okay.
White funk,
Yeah.
white boy funk, whatever they were calling it. Now, during the Californication release and tour cycle, Kiedis was dating Claire Essex. According to his autobiography, Scar Tissue, once again, the two were getting high in a hotel room one night, and Essex started convulsing and nearly stopped breathing. So a panicked Anthony Kiedis decided to dial 911. While he was on the line, however, Essex began breathing again. So he just hung up. The hotel desk immediately called, like, hey, did you call the paramedics? He's like, no, we're fine. It's all good. And he just started shooting up again. He started getting high with his girlfriend again after she had almost died. Shortly thereafter, police showed up at the door. Kiedis covered his drugs and paraphernalia with a blanket, produced Essex to prove that no one had overdosed. Hey, look, we're all here. No one's overdosing over here. Everything's great. And then the sheriff showed up, and they recognized Kiedis and left apologetically. Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Kiedis. my fault. I loved Under the Bridge. Have a great night. You go about your day.
So sorry we were loud. We hope we didn't wake that girl up that you're holding in front of us.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. But this is the big one right here, Vinny.
Okay.
After a show in New Orleans on the band's first national tour in the mid-'80s, Kiedis met a woman backstage who he described as a reincarnated Southern version of Marilyn Monroe. He asked her to keep him company while he took a shower. She was more than happy to oblige. As he wrote in his autobiography, she immediately threw off her clothes and we made love on the floor. I had known the girl for 5 minutes, but I was certain of her affection for me. We spent the night together and I found out more about her, including the fact that she went to a Catholic school. This would later go on to inspire a song we'll talk about in a minute. The young woman accompanied Red Hot Chili Peppers to Baton Rouge the next day. After the band's show, she pulled Kiedis aside to make a confession. I have to tell you, my father's the chief of police, and the entire state of Louisiana is looking for me because I've gone missing. Oh, and also, I'm 14 years old. So what did Kiedis say?
Animal House?
Well, yeah, what did Kiedis say when he found out the girl that he was now taking along with him on tour?
Something along the lines of,
oh no, wrong. He decided to sleep with her again. Once he found out she was 14 years old, he decided, okay, well, let's just bang one more time and then we'll make sure they find you because I don't need the police all looking for you when you're touring with us.
Does Shuli know about this? I feel like
yeah,
expose him.
Julie would have some questions, I have a feeling, about this. Now, that was very creepy. It also inspired a song called Catholic Schoolgirls Rule. I just have a quick clip of it. I don't want to get us taken down. But...
Oh, I remember that song. Holy shit.
Yeah, the first verse is, in the class she's taking notes, just how deep is my throat. Mother Mary, don't you know, she's got eyes like Marilyn Monroe. So he bangs a 14-year-old, like, I should probably write a song and document this. And then he wrote about it in his autobiography. So this guy is not only a creep, he's also dumb. But here's the real kicker, guys. This is why you need to vote for Karl on the creepoff.com this week, because what the Red Hot Chili Peppers did is they went from kind of a cool punk funk band. They kind of almost invented a genre of music. Flea is always fun to watch playing the bass.
Sure.
And they decided to go ahead and start writing fucking ballads like this. And this. The guy can't sing, and he insists on singing in this band that was never about singing.
Did you not get us flagged again? You just stop playing.
I feel like I'm channeling my inner Tukey. Like, these are all the same song. You just keep writing the same song. Write a different song now. You wrote that song. Write another song. Fucking Anthony Kiedis sucks. He can't sing and he keeps writing the same song over and over again.
Statutory raped a child. Okay.
And bragged about it in his book. So, Matt Montgomery, thank you for sending that suggestion into me. I appreciate it.
Matt Montgomery, Rotten Hell.
All right.
Are you done?
I am done. That's my
All right.
presentation for today.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Bryan Johnson. Take it away, sir. The floor is yours.
And for the record, have never liked one note that the Chili Peppers have ever played. I can't stand the band. I remember my friend was super into them in the late 80s. I'm like, why do you like this shit?
I'll admit, I had Mother's Milk. I liked that album. And it does not hold up.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that I'm on the wild card episode, because it just opens up everything, man.
Endless possibilities.
Sheriffs, dads of weird rock stars and the weird rock stars. I was gonna go like CEO, because I felt that this is you guys taught me one thing by watching this show, and that's that anybody can be a creep. They don't necessarily have to murder kittens. They don't necessarily have to be sexual predators. They can be serial killers. They can be anybody. So a CEO obviously is a type that could be a creep. You got Kenneth Lay and Jeff Skilling from Enron. You got this latest chick, Elizabeth Holmes from Theron or whatever the fuck with the fake blood shit.
Yep.
And the thing that makes these guys creepy is, like, what are they doing? They're betraying their shareholders. And what are shareholders but fans of a company, right? They're fans that think they can make money, but they're fans of the company. So I thought, like, well, what other people have fans that might be creeped out by their behavior? And then it led me to podcasters. And these podcasters, there's plenty of creepy ones. They don't have to be, necessarily a podcast hitman type. They could be anybody. They could be anybody. And they could be a person that you watch that may or may not have a creepy paneled basement that smells slightly of must, according to one Chrissy Mayer.
I saw that when she was talking to Stuttering John about the house at Dabblecon. Yeah.
So it could be a guy who ahead of time agrees.
I don't like where this is going.
Agrees to a debt. And a man who does not pay his debts is not a man at all in my book. My creep of the week is Karl. Yes! It has to be Karl.
Yes!
I walk this fine line.
Is in this one? I think you might.
I walk this fine line.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
Now with the creep off and all this WATP stuff, and most recently, who are these broadcasters? Yep. I watch all this shit, right? So I think I walk this fine line between fan and participant, and not a lot of people get to do that. Not a lot of people who are fans of all this stuff get to sit in on the show. So I feel that my voice is speaking for more than just me. It's speaking for a couple guys I saw on Reddit, maybe some other people I saw in comments. I think to not fulfill that consequence, Karl, is so shameful. And I get it. I wouldn't want to drive to a shithole like that for 3 days either, but I feel you got to turn it into something.
It's not even the destination. It's not that I'm afraid.
It's the time, right?
It's too far. Yes, it's the time.
I get it. But if
I could have found one friend who wanted to go on a baseball trip with me, I could have made it happen. But everyone's busy this summer.
Yeah, but like that, there's again a Welcher. Nobody likes him, and this is thankfully we can culturally appropriate that term. I don't think the Welsh are going to do anything to us, but I can't tell you how strongly I feel that you should fulfill this consequence, and then you could redeem yourself in all the Creep Off fans' eyes, and probably some WATP people too. I mean, there's a big crossover, I imagine.
No.
I would imagine that there is.
Yeah.
So is that the end of your presentation then, Brian? Is that
I don't have a long presentation because you know I like you.
Wow, there's so many more reasons, Brian. There's so many more reasons.
I don't really find Karl that creepy at all, but I did think that this particular act shone so brightly that anything else I brought up was going to be just like a buildup, or if I said it afterwards, diminishing returns. So yeah, my creep for this week is Karl.
You know, Brian, you're right, and where I fucked up was I had forgotten there was a rule that we made that if you landed on something you couldn't possibly do, that you could say, I'm not going to do that, but then the other person gets to pick any other thing from the wheel that you could do. And I forgot about that rule. I should have implemented that because I knew when I hit drive to Gary, Indiana, I was either going to have to get some green screen technology going or it just wasn't going to happen. That's my bad. I should have put a stop to it immediately.
I told Vinny that if you were willing to do it, I think that I would do it with you.
Really?
If you want to take a ride, yeah. That's how much I want to see this through. Two guys who have only really talked on the phone, met a couple times in person, but I'll take a ride with you to Gary if you
I would love to have that conversation about if you think he's creepy or not after Brian.
And dude, I fucking hate riding in cars too. I can't stand being in a car for over an hour. I got a fucking knee thing going on lately that like I sit for more than 15 minutes. I can't walk anymore.
Okay, so I see what's going on.
Well, he's got a feet thing going on since always.
Hold on a second. So Brian's doing this thing now where he's like, Karl, you act like you can't do this thing. I would even do it. I'll even do it right now. And I don't even want to do it. So now you're just trying to look even worse.
I'll do it, motherfucker.
Yeah,
I don't do it. I told you I'd do it for the
by
show.
doing this shit.
So all three of us road trip.
All right, let's go.
I'm telling you, I got a lot of time off. I can do it.
We got to create an Instagram account for this so that we can document all of our different stops and antics along the way.
Yeah, we can stop at cool. Like, look, I like stopping at nerdy places and shit. I know you guys like that. Sure. Oh, and Vinny, I went to a micro wrestling match the other day. It made me think of you.
Ah,
yeah, it was like a bunch of little people wrestling. I couldn't believe the turnout. These were not like a friend of mine is doing a show about them, about the wrestling league, the micro wrestling league, and it's going to be. I think it's going to be on Discovery, I believe. Sometime early 2024. And I said, so to my buddy, I said, so you salted the crowd, right? Obviously, these are people you brought in. He said, nope. 500 people.
That's awesome.
At this event, this outdoor bar event. It was fucking great. It was so much fun.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Karl, do you think there's a venue in Gary, Indiana that would host the Creep Off Live in Gary?
No, but you can walk into any building. They're all vacant. We can do it anywhere.
It's the electric that's tricky.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
Somebody
Yeah,
had to get the
Wi-Fi.
stabby hobos out.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, Vinny, I apologize. I know Karl probably has some other creepy traits. Although I do think earlier,
no, you're fine. You got it. You nailed it.
Earlier, like you were telling him something that I know he doesn't believe. I think Karl's cynical expression should be a meme. Just that, like, you don't say.
Oh, Karl,
it's hard
is
not
a
to
treasure.
be cynical with Vinny over here.
It's hard not to be mad at you, Karl, but here's your chance. Do you want to spin the wheel twice, or are you going to take Brian up on his offer?
Is that a real offer?
I'll go with you. Yeah.
Holy shit. I still don't have time to do it. Unless Brian and I are going to like do 5 podcasts on the way there and back, then I could maybe,
I've
a lot
done
of
that before. Meg and I went on a road trip and we did a podcast. It didn't sound as bad as I thought it would. We had the lavs. It was not too bad.
Oh, dude, I know exactly what piece of equipment you would need for that. That'd be easy.
What's that, Vinny?
It's that mic, that lav system that I showed you, the one I sent Mark Norman.
Okay.
It's all coming together.
I also have an H4n Zoom recorder, the one that Opie uses for his podcast.
The one you recorded the last Detroit show with.
You all know how well that thing sounds. So, yeah.
I like the H6. The H4, if I can get technical for just a second, not that great a piece of equipment.
I actually have an H8 now. I'm
not
gonna,
okay. Look at
I've
you.
I've upgraded my Zoom recorder. And that was actually really nice. We could actually use that and plug XLRs to it. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is we do have some more super chats that we want to get caught up on. De La $2. Can we do this book after John's talking about Anthony Kiedis's scar tissue.
Not a bad idea.
Not a
but
bad idea.
We'll have to wait to do that until after we're done watching Thunder in Paradise.
Yes.
Because that takes precedence to all. Brian, we missed you on Wednesday. Oh,
I missed you guys. Yeah, I really wanted to watch it, but we have this cool thing we do where we play Dungeons and Dragons for people, which I was stunned that people enjoy. I never played before. So now we do TSD&D, and we have, characters. We constantly argue with the dungeon master, tell him to go fuck himself if we don't like his shit,
Sounds amazing.
Let me
Sounds
tell
exactly
you
like how you're supposed to play.
You missed. We found out that there was an entire opening sequence to the first episode that we watched that we didn't see, which has Hulk, and apparently that sidekick guy is Jack Lemmon's kid. We found that out.
Right. Yeah.
So Jack Lemmon's kid and Hulk Hogan attack Cuba with their boat, like they're shooting missiles and fighting the Cuban army.
Yeah.
And they kidnap a woman out of Cuba and they take her back to America, which I thought was very patriotic of the Hulkster. And then Hulk could breathe underwater for forever. We learned that. And then we also learned that where this whole thing left off was with Hulk being chained up and thrown off the side of a boat into shark-infested waters. I shit you not. And that's where we left it off, Brian. So you're caught up.
Oh, nice.
It's the greatest show I've ever seen in my life. It really is just fantastic. If you're not checking out the Creep Off Patreon, we're watching Thunder in Paradise, this Hulk Hogan TV show that is every single show you've ever seen in the 80s and early 90s, all wrapped into one. It's Knight Rider, it's Miami Vice. It's incredible.
We found out it has a little Goonies.
Yeah, there's definitely Goonies. There's treasure maps.
There's Predator for some reason.
Predator, yeah.
There's Predator.
It's got it all. It's amazing.
Yeah, really good for something. And one last one, Carl. Read that super chat.
All right. Jonava, 12. $5 gas money for the road trip. We're going to need it.
We can live stream from places. We can, if we go in the fall, the weather will be right for doing a little leaf peeping. We can pull over to the side, take some pictures of some leaves.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Now,
can we get cider and donuts?
Fuck yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. Is it quicker to get to Gary by driving through Canada? Because I let my passport expire.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so we're gonna have to probably go the long way, I think.
Excuses. Okay. Well, it's up to you. You can think about this and you can decide before you spin if you want to spin twice or if you're gonna drive.
Are you coming with us, Vinny?
Don't put that on me.
All right.
We'll see how the spirit moves me. I would go hang out with Brian. You would just be like, I don't know, like Brian and I would be like, let's go check out comic books. Let's go check out something.
Oh my
cool.
gosh, you'd buy so many toys.
Yeah,
you guys would go to so many toy stores.
Have a blast.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's the consequence. He would have to ride with you and me, Brian, and we just torment him all the way.
Oh shit. This sounds way worse than it used to be.
Oh my God. Him by himself is like a treat for him. He can finally clear his mind. It's just not him talking all the time because that's all he does. If you had 9 hours of silence, you would probably mentally destroy yourself.
Correct.
So, but if we're there to mentally destroy you,
yeah.
All right. I'm thinking about this.
It's a possibility. All right.
Okay.
All right. So, Carl, is it time for WATC?
Oh yeah, it is time for WATC.
Creepos.
If you're not familiar with this is a segment on the show that we do because we're petty. We know we are the best true crime podcast in the world, but we also feel like we need to prove it. And the way that we do that is by taking on the other true crime podcasts one at a time. And today I present to you a podcast called Crime, Creeps, and Coffee.
So not the Dick Dreyfuss Show.
So this is the
God damn it.
So
this is like the AA version of all the true crime podcasts. It's not booze, it's coffee.
Right. I thought that was interesting. Usually they're drinking, but on this one, they're actually it's a morning show. You want to hear about your true crime while you're getting up and getting ready for the day that you have.
Let's check it out. The morning's murders.
Yes. So let's get introduced to our hosts here.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Crimes, Creeps, and Coffee. I'm Charlotte, and today we have Stephanie.
It's me.
And Nicholas.
It's me. No.
That was glorious.
That was glorious.
My voice cracked then.
It did.
It's me.
So as you can tell, these are British people who are going to give us true crime stories from England. And it starts off, you'll be shocked to know, because after that introduction, you're probably thinking like, okay, this is a really well-polished show. These people obviously know what they're doing. Wrong. they're actually not professionals, and they start the show with 3 minutes of corrections from previous episodes.
But we freely admit that we're not professionals. We
We're
don't know what we're talking
enthusiasts.
about. We Google a lot.
We're enthusiasts.
And sometimes we make slips of the tongue. So in Nick's Luca episode, he pronounced Jun Lin's voice name wrong. He pronounced it Lin Jun, and it is actually Jun Lin.
There you go.
And we would like to thank Find Me by the Sea for pointing that out to us.
Thank you.
People are always really glad when they're corrected.
So the problem here is that they have so many listeners, and these pesky listeners just keep sending them messages about what they're screwing up all the time. So this is going on for a while, and then we could find out exactly how many listeners they have. Now, Vinny, I don't want you to get jealous and get upset and quit the show when you hear this, okay?
If I haven't quit the show yet, I don't think I'm going anywhere, pal.
We're not professionals. We Google things, and we're going to get it wrong. But we want to
research,
And it's hard to tell if anybody is listening to this. I mean, we're just three people sitting in a room with a stuffed fox.
We are, yeah, with the
stuff
Barney's head.
We don't know if people are listening to this.
No, but it's nice to know that there are people who listen.
Oh, yeah.
I was saying that, though.
It warms my fuzzy heart.
We do have 283.
It warms your fuzzy arse.
I don't know how fuzzy your ass is, love. But saying
Keeps
that,
me
we do
warm.
have 283 listeners spread out over all platforms.
Get in.
So we're getting there.
283. Whoa. We're listening to celebrities over here, guys.
That many people voted against you last week.
Yeah, I know.
It sounds like the numbers that all the podcast wars guys argue over. Like, I had 280. Yeah, well, I had 300.
You're right. That's pretty sad, but especially when you're that specific about it. We had 283 listeners. Like, I mean,
All platforms, not just
oh,
one.
right. So they're actually adding it up. They're actually
Counting their phone contacts too.
Yeah. And I see why they don't have a lot of listeners, because this one woman has a very obnoxious laugh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nick's even like, all right, that's enough. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Okay. So Charlotte introduces the story of the Suffolk Strangler, and she is going to read that for us. Now, this is possibly, and we've played these types of clips before, this is some of the worst reading I've ever heard on a true crime show, because there's no inflection. There's nothing that's connecting you to the story. It sounds like she's standing in a third grade classroom and she's being told to read out of the textbook in front of the class.
A month before she died, she was fired from the massage parlor due to her drug use and unfortunately began to work on the streets. At the time of her death, her mother thought she was a hairdresser, not a sex worker. Tanya's body was found on the 8th of December in the same stretch of water as Gemma's. Her body was closer to the area called Copdock Mill. Tanya had last been seen on the 30th of October in Ipswich's red light district, which was close to the town's football stadium.
And then Anthony Kiedis slept with a 14-year-old. And then he said, how old are you? And she said 14. And then Anthony Kiedis slept with the 14-year-old again after he found out that she was 14. That's not good. It's not a good presentation.
I would
ladies.
agree. There's definitely a dynamic quality that's missing.
Yes, for sure. All right. And the other thing that I have to point out, and I see this a lot too, this crops up, is when they're telling the story and the co-host doesn't know the story, you can't get emotionally invested in the characters. This is a true crime show. You can't be surprised when bad things happen.
Gemma began working as a sex worker to fuel her habit of heroin and crack cocaine.
Oh.
Stop. Oh, come on. You're better than this. What are you doing?
She had the future in hair.
Okay, so this is a little bit annoying because this one woman, she just cackles at everything. And now she explains why she's laughing so hard, because they have to ask her, like, what is so funny?
Yeah, Napton and then Levington, which are all very Suffolk words.
Because that's not what I thought. Can
You
I
said
say?
Natcom, didn't you?
No. I thought. Can I say it?
Yeah.
Are we? I thought you said that cunt.
Oh, I did nearly in my head. I will be saying that in a little bit. That's for sure.
That's funny. Okay.
That ain't funny. It was a naughty word. That's very funny, Vinny. Don't you find that to be hilarious? She thought that she had said a swear.
And that's not even that bad over there, right?
No, they say that all the time.
It's like a jerk or a turkey or something.
Yeah, a turkey. My wife's acting real turkey.
Yeah.
lately. I got to do something about that. All right. Here's an example.
Did you try to say real turkey-y? Is that what you were trying to say? She's acting real turkey-y?
No, I should have, though. That's funny. That's funnier.
Okay.
So this is something that should have been cut out of the show. I'm guessing there's no editing being done at all. I don't even know what's happening right here, but the woman who's reading the story very poorly gets distracted.
Tanya Nichols was age 19. When it fucking works, come on. Can you not, please?
Technology.
Elliot Rogers, I swear to God.
Just everything is his fault now.
We're still in there.
So, Tanya Nichols was age 19.
What is going on here?
I could have sworn I heard a parrot there for a second.
Your guess is as good as mine. Maybe it was a parrot. I thought maybe a dog came in the room or maybe one of her children or something. I don't know. Could you pick up on what was going on there?
No, it sounded like they didn't know they were on the air anymore.
Yeah, right. They're just like,
can they still hear us? Talk real low.
Are we still doing the show? Because this is really boring. This is not what a show is. All right. Thankfully, there's one other element to the show that makes it exciting. And that is there is a game show. And you know me on WATP, I love playing game shows. I even put up with that stupid Talking Potato because he brings fun game shows out of the show. And these guys have a very similar show. It's got a very catchy title, or a very similar game, very catchy title too.
I've got a game for us to play.
Oh, are we playing Cluedo?
No.
I love Cluedo.
We're playing a game I've greatly titled Who Said the Thing That I Read Out the Thing Of?
Oh, okay.
Amazing.
Isn't that exciting? They're going to play Who Said the Thing That I Read Out the Thing Of?
I mean, it rolls right off the tongue.
It's
That's
great.
The title.
I already ordered the t-shirt. It's very
Is there
exciting.
a home game?
Well, later on in the show, they finally get to it. So I wanted to play you what that sounds like. He does change the name of the game at this point to Who Said What Now? Which actually is probably a little catchier, little punchier, I would say.
When I see a pretty girl walking down the street, I think two things. One part wants to be real nice and sweet, and the other part wonders what their head would look like on a stick.
That's Ed Kemper.
You saying Ed Kemper?
Yes, yes.
You both saying Ed Kemper?
No.
I'm doubting myself. Yeah, I'm going to say Kemper.
I'm going to say
You're
Ed Kemper.
both wrong. It was Ed Gein.
Oh.
Pretty
Close.
exciting stuff, huh? Pretty exciting stuff. That's how
First
the
name,
game
right?
show goes.
Now, which one of them has to drive to Gary, Indiana?
Both of them
How do you lose that
together.
game? Okay.
What
All
is
right.
it about true crime that draws people like podcasters to it? Is it just because they think it's easy? They can just look up Wikipedia, read it all. Like, because they obviously we all have an interest in true crime, but like I do a Patreon episode like once every year maybe. But like to do a true crime podcast week after week, I feel like the research in there has to be pretty solid, and these people don't do it.
Yeah,
and
and
they just don't do it.
it's the easiest genre. It's very popular, so you can get listeners pretty easily. But it seems to me like mostly women navigate towards true crime because they're not creative in any single way. It's like, well, I can just read the story that everyone who wants to hear the story has already heard 1,000 times.
And I'll read it in the same way that they read it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird. Like, because I think I really like feel like for a true like you guys have a different format. But if you're just going straightforward crime shit, like you have to be like Boudet, where like he has a team researching shit, and like the production is amazing. It's like just sitting around talking to your friends about like, hey, did you hear about that case? If you're not entertaining, man, you're fucking done.
When you've heard really good true crime shows, you got to sit there and go, why would I make a show? I can't do anything close to this.
Which is why we ruin true crime for everyone that loves this show.
Correct. All right, I have one more clip for you guys. I want you guys to play along to the Who Said What Now game.
Okay, next one.
Okay.
You know, a long time ago, being crazy meant something. Nowadays, everybody's crazy.
Vinny, who said it?
Ted Bundy.
Brian, you have a guess on that?
I don't. Not on this one.
It was Manson.
Manson, huh?
Pretty exciting stuff, huh? Pretty good. Pretty good game. Who cares?
What the hell is he supposed to be?
All right, so that's my presentation. Crime, Creeps, and Coffee. The good news is that this show stopped making new episodes back in 2020. So don't worry, you will not stumble upon this anytime soon.
Yay.
And what stops them?
So happy.
Like, what stops them from continuing the show too? Like, if you're truly interested in it, like, unless they're like, hey, we're gonna make a bundle off this, and they didn't, like, why stop? I don't get it.
Yeah, maybe they rebranded it, or maybe they just got bored of each other.
People are like, you suck, man. Just
Yeah, they're just like,
stop.
I can't forget your face anymore.
What
We're
are
gonna
those
stop doing this.
238 people going to do?
I know. I feel bad for them. Hopefully, they found another show.
Well, actually,
Fill the
hopefully
void.
COVID got them, but okay. Moving on.
All right, we got voicemails, right? You said that we got more voicemails than ever before.
I
This
certainly did.
The Creep Off voicemail segment is brought to you by the city of Syracuse. Syracuse police have accused a high school teacher of sending over 600 illicit texts to a student. Police worry he may have gotten away with it had that student known how to read. See you in Syracuse.
All right.
I see
Carl.
what you did there.
Here we go. Where do we start? Let's start here.
Carl, this is bullshit. You're not going to Gary fucking Indiana. You're certainly not getting to fucking get a pass the spin consequence over onto Vinny, you motherfucker. It's been like 5 fucking months. Fuck you. Fucking spin the wheel. Fucking do your consequences, you punk bitch.
Yep.
All right.
I
was expecting a couple voicemails like that. All right.
Well, here's one that's maybe a little more stern.
Oh, good.
Hey, mate. So now that the integrity of the show has officially just been compromised and lost, so has my vote, and I just want it to be known, and, it'd be a shame if I influenced anyone else, that every single week I will be voting for Vinny until I see a picture of Karl in Gary, Indiana. That's it. It's as simple as that. Every single week I will vote for Vinny. I do not negotiate with terrorists. I do not negotiate with Karl Berger. I will be voting for Vinny. Go fuck yourself.
Fuck you!
Thank you, sir.
Listen, that's not the way this game works. If we're going to lose the integrity of the game, if you're voting for the one person every week, you got to listen to the argument. You got to decide who brought the bigger creep. Am I right, Brian?
Here's my favorite one.
I mean, that's the game.
That's the game.
This guy's mad.
Hey, Vinny Winnie, people's champ. I'm sorry, dude, but I got to nominate you for Creep of the Week because it's become obvious that you're podcasting with a middle schooler. This fucking kid, Karl, he's a fucking sore winner, a sore loser. He can't drive. He stole a bike and sold it for drugs at one time. And last week, he literally pulls out the, you cheated first, so I'm going to cheat defense. I mean, this Karl kid, his podcast, the middle school gossip table, it's all like, Chad talked to Kevin, and Kevin said John was a loser, but then John talked to Chad, and Chad said Kevin said blah, 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 bullshit. Way to go, Vinny. Congrats on your win.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I thought that was going a different direction at first.
Who are these gossipy teenagers?
All right. I have a voicemail for us.
Please.
Hey, Karl, here's an idea for the creep off. Do creepiest person from Georgia, but make Vinny think you mean the state when you actually mean the country. So he'll bring some like dime a dozen serial killer, then you can bring Stalin or Beria. I think that'd be pretty funny. All right, thank you, Becky. Bye.
All right, let's keep that to ourselves though. I don't want him to know about that.
I'll probably forget about it. You'll still get it over on me. Back to Karl hate. Please, let's stay on track.
Hey, Karl. Hey, Vinny. I just wanted to call in and let y'all know that my vote's going to be going to Vinny from now on because unlike a certain Piazza hack, Vinny actually does his consequences and follows through. Anyway, that's all I got. Don't call me back.
Thank you, sir. I just wanted to make sure somebody called you a Piazza during this.
Appreciate it. Oh my gosh. We went to the baseball game on Saturday night.
Okay.
And my wife stopped me. She's like, Karl, look at that jersey. There are two guys wearing Piazza jerseys. I'm like, yeah, no, he was a pretty famous baseball player. You're gonna,
they were.
You're gonna see that at
hands.
baseball games.
They were holding hands. Hold on a second. Here's a consequence idea, Karl. Maybe this could be the TBD.
I say Karl's consequence should be, since we found out his new place is just down the street from Stuttering John.
Oh boy.
Next time he's down at his house in Florida, slumber party with Stuttering John. Stay up, eat pizza, wear feety pajamas, spooky movies, sleep on the living room floor. That's the consequence. Stuttering John slumber party.
Call
John would go for it too.
Call it Consequence House. Tape everything.
Carl's Consequence House.
That's actually a really funny idea. Just have a camera running out us 24/7.
Well, I feel like that's all the hate I'm going to make you
All
listen
right,
to
I
today.
think that's enough for now. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's
You got any
all
more
good.
voicemails? Or are we good?
I'm good, buddy.
All right. Well, let's move on to the Scum Parade.
Scum Parade, take me on a raid of these fuck charades that these creeps have made. Scum Parade, Vinny and Karl gonna tell you about some fuck shit. Scum Parade, like stories of a kid fucked by his mom or dad, soaking up the blood of a cat. Scum Parade.
Now, gentlemen, let's head over to Japan. Kyoto, Japan. A delivery driver has been arrested on suspicion of secretly filming under the skirts of girls using cameras attached to the bottom of his vehicle.
Yeah.
I've seen people attach cameras to their shoes,
sure,
hide them in coffee cups, attach them to the bottom of shopping bags to get the upskirts. I have never seen Knight Rider rigged for upskirts, Karl.
Everyone needs a hobby, Vinny.
I find this one to be pretty, I find there to be a lot of ingenuity here.
Agreed.
Satoshi Nishimura, 44, of Kyoto, is accused of filming up the skirts of 8 girls, including elementary and high school students. He reportedly drove past them on streets on Kyoto, driving a light delivery truck between September and December of last year. He's suspected of violating the ordinance of nuisance prevention. So basically, he would go down really narrow streets, so the girls would have to move out of the way. And as he would drive by, the cameras were under the truck filming underneath their little dresses. He denies the allegation, saying he was just lost looking for a place to park his vehicle. But
yeah,
the police launched an investigation in April last year after a female acquaintance of the suspect reported receiving an obscene video. The video differed from those, but it was secretly filmed. And when police searched Nishimura's home, they found more than 30 hard drives containing a large number of voyeuristic videos, including the ones from under the truck.
So basically, this guy's more passionate about upskirts than Vinny is about pizza. That's pretty impressive.
Listen, man, people's passions can take them in a lot of weird places.
Now, let me ask you this, though, Vinny.
Sure.
What just happened to my voice? Let me ask you this. So filming in public is okay. There's people are being filmed all day long everywhere. But the camera can't be on the ground, pointing up? Because I'm trying to figure out how this is even illegal.
When I read that article, I read it as he was using the cameras to help him park, like assist him, like parking.
That's what he said.
But
right.
That's what he should have said.
Oh, right. But isn't that odd though? That you can sit there and film someone like this, but the lower you bring it down, like where does it become illegal?
Well, I think it becomes illegal when they start looking through the hard drives and see the file labeled as teeny girl upskirts.
Yeah, little underpants.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Hello Kitty. January 29, whatever. I'm just saying that this whole situation, a lot of ingenuity here, but you got caught, pal. He shouldn't have sent that video. Nobody would have ever known he had done this. This could have been a victimless crime.
Correct.
Now, Karl, let's move over to Ireland, shall
Yes.
we? This is a fun one. A man named Declan Hawley, he's 41 on Pollerton Road in Carlow, Ireland. He's getting 2 years in jail after he and a guy named Gareth Coakley took the lifeless body of a guy named Peter Doyle to the post office to pick up his pension check.
Yeah, the check was for about 200 pounds.
Yes.
This is a lot of work to make 200 pounds.
So what you're seeing here is the Irish version of Weekend at Bernie's for a very, very low amount of money.
And Weekend at Bernie's, everyone loves that movie. Everyone thinks it's hilarious when two guys pretend the guy in between them is alive, but he's actually dead. But for some reason, when you do it at the post office, it's against the law.
Here, let me help you sign the back of that check.
Yeah.
Uncle Doyle. So this whole thing was really funny because nobody at the bank went for it. They immediately figured out that guy's dead. Have you called help for him? Have you? Why is what? And they were just like, "Oh my God, he's dead." Oh, I had no idea. So
they left him there.
They noted that this is a callous disregard for the dignity and welfare of a dying man. And they refused to offer any type of help. And they literally left him abandoned on the floor of the post office.
Yeah.
They dropped him and ran away.
What are you going to do? Carry him back home again? The jig is up at that point.
Oh, my God.
Back in the day, I was very into painkillers, so much so that like Slingbox was our sponsor, and I sold my Slingbox for like $200 so I could get drug money, which is what I'm assuming these guys are doing. At my height of addiction,
Did you have
I
to
can't.
lie and said you still liked it?
What's that?
Did you have to lie and still say you had the sling box?
Oh yeah, it was still a promotion. It was still an advertiser. But yeah, I feel like if I had an uncle, I would probably drag him in and start cashing checks. When I was a little bit low on drug money. You can't put anything past somebody like that.
Good point.
Could you put the motherfucker in a wheelchair so you don't leave him on the floor?
That's a smart idea. Yeah. Although then you got to buy a wheelchair. That's even less money that you're going to get for drugs.
Right.
And the problem with this is you might be able to get away with this once, probably not twice. Definitely not three
Definitely not
times.
even once, Vinny. They didn't even get close to getting away
If
with
you had
it.
the wheelchair, I think maybe you could just say, "Oh, he's not feeling well today. Are you okay, Uncle Peter? Here's your check."
Boy.
Whatever. I just think that this is a lot of fun, and I like their spirit, these guys.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. A 26-year-old Nebraska man accused of posing as a high school student in 2 different schools has been arrested on sex crime charges, Carl.
See, now we've done a couple of these stories where people who are in their late 20s, early 30s go back to high school, and it never makes sense to me. This one makes sense to me. This one I get.
Yeah. Now, this gentleman enrolled under his real name was Zachary Scheith, and he enrolled in school as Zach Hess. Now, he purported to be a 17-year-old student. He was actually 26 years old, and he had graduated in 2015. Now, he's a little dude. He's 5'4" and 120 pounds, so I'm sure he could probably pass the eye test.
He did, yeah.
Yeah. So he's being charged with sexual assault, use of an electronic device, and what that means is he was engaging with someone via a phone or computer, while an individual could be charged with sex trafficking a minor if you coerce or pay certain items. So
basically, the article doesn't know what he did.
Yeah, they won't tell you
That's what it comes down to. They don't know.
They hypothesize.
Because there's a comma. It says sexual assault, comma, use of an electronic device. Don't tell anyone I'm doing that right now.
What are you doing? Sexually assaulting someone with
Using
your
an electronic device.
Oh, okay.
I didn't understand why that was a separate thing, but then the article tries to figure it out. They're like, what we think that might mean is like make shit up.
So this kid apparently went in there, made friends, and I guess he was communicating with them, obviously in a sexual way, or he wouldn't be charged or anything. I'm sure he would be arrested for falsifying documents or something weird. They find a way to charge him with something, but these are very serious things that he's getting nailed with. And he attended school for approximately 54 days. And how horny for kids do you have to be to sit through those fucking classes again?
Well, I want to know what his grades were like, because the article does not tell you how he was doing.
I guarantee you he wasn't ready for the ASATs. I guarantee
I love
you.
it. I love the article says we don't know how many victims there actually are. I can just imagine like you go to homeroom one day and they're like, okay, show of hand, ladies. Who fucked Hess? Show of hands, please.
Come on, hands slowly going up.
Yeah, the girls are looking around like,
And then there's the nervous, ugly girl who's like, "Oh, I did too."
Yeah, right. The girl pretends she fucked Hess just for the clout.
That's the only one.
He went down on me. I swear to God. No, he didn't.
When the whole thing is said and done in court because of that girl, it's going to be like he is found guilty on 269 counts of sexual assault, and he was acquitted of 1.
Yeah, right.
Oh shit. So. This is a very interesting situation. I would kind of keep an eye on it. If there's any more developments, I'll let you guys know. Let's head down to Florida for our last creep.
I knew you couldn't do it. I knew you couldn't bring me on without some shit like this.
Yeah, I know. This has been going on every week.
Florida, you got to get your shit together. Get your shit. Why so many creepy bugs? Creepy bugs. What the hell is going on there? Maybe it's a swamp gas. For flagrant don't be at it yet. Come on, Florida.
By the way, Sarah, who did that song, submitted a new super chat jingle for WATS. And if anybody wants to send us a super chat, I'll play that for you.
Oh, good call. Hey, you know what? Speaking of people sending us stuff, I forgot to do this earlier, But Mr. Magenta came through this week with a brand new victim blame drop.
Oh, no shit.
To the tune of Rat's song Shame, Shame, Shame.
Nice.
Which I was not familiar with. But here you go, kids. Here's the new Mr. Magenta.
Victim blame. You should have known better than to be a cunt. Victim blame. And now it don't matter. Cause you're fucking dead. You've got your own self to blame. Now it's time to feel the pain. Brought by Karl and Vinnie. It's such a crying shame to get victim blamed.
Well done, Mr. Magenta.
Bravo, sir. Bravo.
Very good.
I had to make sure we squeezed that in. Now let's head to Miami. A woman is facing charges after she was accused of killing a man's puppy by disemboweling the animal and then threatening to do the same to its owner.
It's one way to get your point across, I'd say.
It's a good one.
I'd be like, I'm listening.
Oh, what did you need, honey? Did you need to pay more attention to you?
Yeah, right.
I'd be glad to. This woman, Yadelyn Marin, she's 19. And that does explain a lot of this, I feel like. Here comes Husey.
Husey! Hey, Bryan Johnson, where's the rest of AC/DC, huh? Blah! Roasted. Good one, Husey.
They're hanging out with ZZ Top. Yeah.
Oh, I get it because of the beard.
Yeah.
Super chat now. God's gonna read a super chat. Super chat. Oh, come on now. Mike would do it, but he can't. Hey! Woo! Oh, yeah.
Very good stuff. Husey, by the way, congratulations on being the funniest person on Ray DeVito's show, even when you're not on Ray DeVito's show. That was well done, sir.
Husey is a talent.
Yes, he is.
Now, this woman's been charged with second-degree animal cruelty and misdemeanor battery in connection with the incident that happened on July 20th. A judge declined to set bail. Awesome. Police were called to the residence. They spoke to the owner of the puppy, who was told by a friend that his pet dog had been disemboweled in the bathroom. When the man walked into the bathroom, he saw the scene and saw Marin sitting in the bathtub and told the victim, quote, "You're next."
So just to be serious real quick, they should just put this woman down, right? There's no fixing this.
Yeah, I would say not.
Okay.
When you're
19,
that young,
she's this fucked up this early.
19, she's got a face tattoo, a neck tattoo, and she's disemboweling puppies in the bathroom. This is a problem.
So this is what's scary. He calls the cops and she got away. She was running around for 7 days loose after this.
She got loose.
She got off the leash.
Oh, no.
And the fucking nobody knew where she was. And then 7 days later, she shows up at this guy's house, banging on the door, demanding to be let in. He calls the cops and she gets arrested. And the officer who arrested her alleged that she blew spit in my face.
Yeah.
As she was being taken
She's a
into
problem,
custody.
that one, for sure.
She's not great.
It's weird, too. Her neck tattoo is of a bird, an animal. So,
oh, really? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, what's her deal?
What was her face tattoo? Was it her name or something?
I couldn't read it. I had no idea.
It was letters.
Yeah, it looked illegible to me.
I'm wondering if written backwards, if she gave it to herself in the mirror, that'd be pretty funny. Now, is it just me? Because we've been doing, we had cats being microwaved last week, and now puppies are being disemboweled. How come we never hear about PETA anymore? I feel like a few years ago, PETA was all over everywhere all the time, and I have not heard that organization brought up in years.
I feel like they kind of got
they overdid
Didn't
it,
they
right?
get caught for euthanizing animals or something? They were
Nah, I don't think so. I think they maybe overplayed their hand a little bit. People are like, "Oh, fuck you, PETA." We're
yeah,
done.
with the wrapping themselves up in plastic and being bloody, and especially they like to target celebrities, like big names, so that it gets more ink. Because somebody like this, they're going to be like, anybody except for another psycho is going to be like, well, obviously this lady's fucked up, so this isn't there was never going to be any ethical treatment.
You don't have to condemn this publicly, is what you're saying.
Right?
It's like, no,
yeah, I think that everybody gets this.
Yeah, good point.
Well, I mean, but I don't even have a statement from them here. Is
I
Carl's
know.
point.
I don't see it at all anymore, and PD used to be all over everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, this very insightful comment did come from a neighbor, though. I can't imagine somebody doing something to a dog or cat or any animals. They are innocent.
I know.
She
They
weighed in.
put that on the news clip that was on this site. They actually interviewed someone to say that. They put it on the news. Like, yeah, now we know.
Now that you mention it,
Pretty
they are
perfect.
innocent. I think they're right.
Yeah, nobody was like scratching their head being like, I don't know.
Well,
What did the
unless-
puppy do?
Unless it's happened to my neighbor's dog that wakes me up every fucking morning barking in the backyard. That one not so innocent.
Oh my God. And then Karl looked at him and said, "You're next." Richard Lucas, thanks for the $1.99. We all know it's Zelensky. That's why you lost, Karl.
I should have gone with Zelensky. Damn it. You're right, Richard.
Yeah, then we would have been thrown off of YouTube. We would have been done.
Oh, God,
for.
yeah. Probably be in jail right now.
Karl, that's the scum parade for this week. I guess that means it's time for you to make a choice. Have a sip of your drink.
I'm spinning one time. Let's go.
We're going to Gary?
Wow.
He's going to Gary. All right, hold on 1 second. Karl, we're going to switch spots, okay?
Okay.
You could use my headphones.
This is momentous. I don't know if they cut this kind of stuff out, but if they don't, I'll keep it going with this incredibly insightful monologue. Karl's putting the headphones. Vinny sitting down. What a...
Boy, that chair really went down lower when I got there.
It really sucked down, huh?
It really did.
Apropos of
All
nothing,
right.
Vinny, my wife asked that you keep your glasses on. She said you look weird without them.
Oh.
You know, just saying.
I love Mary Beth. No. What else can I say about Vinny?
Is there anything else you'd like to tell me
Did she
about
say
myself?
how fat
She
he
likes
is?
everything else. Yeah, it's just the
Oh,
glasses.
okay.
Nice.
She likes your glasses.
Oh, wow. I like this area over here. I got
Likes your
control room
glasses.
now.
Hates your face. Doing the show standing up really is a different world, Karl. It feels
is.
good.
Yeah.
Now,
maybe I
I'm
should do
patching
this.
in here. Oh, shit. Hold on.
Oh, you got to set up the
Vinny.
what the different numbers represent, right? Okay. While you're doing that, let me hit your soundboard.
I'm gonna jacket where the sun always shines. Been spreading the word now. I need to ease my mind. Been planting them apple seeds, and while the apples grow, I'm gonna go out jacking it in.
All right. So, number one is winner's choice, which is a cop out. Number two is Cardiff stand up. So, that's one where Cardiff is going to write a stand up act for me, and I have to go perform it somewhere. And I assume that will probably be filmed and posted.
Oh, the same way my Patrick Michael stand-up was filmed.
Right. Correct. Although you did that in front of a pretty large theater in Chicago too. But I think half the people didn't know what you were doing, which is funny. Murder and makeup.
Yeah,
That's
you know
where-
how to book a show, don't you?
Yeah, I sure do. Murder and makeup. That's where. You had an idea for Detroit. You were going to tell me.
I'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
It's a quiet thing.
Oh, I thought you wanted to tell me on the show so we could promote WATPlive.com, September 15th. It's a magic bag where this podcast is live. I'll be there. Vinny will be there. Maybe I'll make Brian go. We'll see.
Yeah.
See what happens.
I mean, it's not that far from Gary. Brian, if you come to Detroit, we could all hop in a car to Gary, Indiana, and be there in 4 hours.
It's interesting. That's interesting. Making some
Now
good points.
it's drive to Gary, Indiana. There's no
Right.
drive back, right?
Oh, you want
You think they have an airport?
Yeah, I'm not really. I know it's a shithole, but I wasn't sure how close the closest airport might be.
Well, you drive there and then you get murdered. So yeah, just
Oh,
drive to.
so there is no return trip. Okay.
Yeah,
That's a one-way voyage.
If you have one of those wallets where you can see the cash, definitely carry this around with you.
Little ridge action. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Murder and makeup. So that's where I'd have to make a YouTube video where
Yeah.
I'm telling a true crime story while applying makeup like
Yes.
that one.
I'm going
dummy.
to talk to my friend Aggie Dune and see if she'll come and help do your makeup for you.
Good, because I do not know how to apply makeup.
Oh, she'll make you look beautiful.
Okay.
Now, here's the one that if winner's choice
That's
happens,
a tough task, by the way. I don't know if anyone's gonna make me beautiful, but all right. I'll play along.
well, she might have a paper bag or something.
Good.
Knife edge chops.
Yep.
That
This
would
one,
be
you love this one.
Yeah, because that hurts like a motherfucker, and I would love to see you would pay just a little bit of pain because
Okay.
it'll sting for maybe a couple days.
What's a knife edge
But,
chop? Just
so it's basically when a pro wrestler does that move where they take their arms like this and they swack you across the chest with it.
okay.
It's one of those moves where there's not a fake way to do it because the point of it is to make contact and make the noise. So it's one of those things where if you get knife edge chopped, the best thing to do is just brace for it because it's going to hurt. It's one of those. And my good friend, former WWE superstar Colin Delaney, WWE, ECW, and AEW superstar Colin Delaney, says he'll be glad to deliver those 3 knife edge chops to Karl for me. Okay.
All right, sounds good.
2-hour-long song loop, which would mean Carl would have to listen to the same song on repeat for 2 hours while he does a live stream. We could all watch him go insane. That's the consequence house right there.
Did you pick a song for that yet? I know you had batted around some ideas.
Yeah, it's either going to be Brian. Maybe you could help me decide if we land on that. It's either going to be that Buffalo Bills Make Me Want to Shout song over and over and over again for 2 hours. Or you told me your favorite song of all time is A Day in the Life by the Beatles. I would not mind.
A Day in the Life. You Never Give Me Your Money.
Oh, you never give
but
me
I
your
do
money.
love A Day in the Life as well.
Oh, okay. So whatever your favorite Beatles song is, that's the one we'll play on repeat over and over. We'll just ruin that for you.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
That'd be fun.
I'm surprised Baby Shark didn't make it into the finals. All right. Podcast series. So this is where I would have to create, because Vinny had to do this with The Bachelor.
Yep.
I'd have to
Creeps and Roses.
I'd have to create a podcast around a subject that I'm not into. What did we talk about? D&D?
Well, listeners suggested that you would have to do a D&D show.
I don't even know how to do that, but it sounds like Brian doesn't know.
Now,
either.
Brian said it sounds fun, so I'm against it. I'm
Okay.
going with your idea that you pitched earlier.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think.
I said I should do a WNBA podcast.
Oh,
Where I
boy.
fill you in on all the news and happenings around the WNBA. I'll get you caught up on the scores and who's scoring the baskets. This one woman, she had 6 points in the game. It was amazing. All right, and then
She got a single.
she hit a free throw. It was incredible. Place went nuts. And then number 7 is $100 to podcast Hitman.
Yep, you would have to put that into his commissary.
And number 8 is the old Pass the Spin.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the wheel is behind Carl. Where she stops, we don't know. Carl, do your best. Give it a good spin.
You have the wheel mic'd over here?
I do.
I'm impressed.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Last time we didn't hear the clicks.
Oh, winner's choice. Damn it. I was so close to 8, too. That's all I wanted to do was get to 8.
And here we are with your fate in my fat palm.
That's correct, buddy.
Brian,
Wow.
anything you want to see him do?
Well, I said
I don't
my
mind
idea
making
to you,
him
but you
dance.
didn't like it.
Which one was it?
It was send him to the Syracuse Mall dressed in Daisy Dukes in a crop top. I
right,
texted
Vinny,
that to you.
Come on, relax. Let's not get crazy here.
I said to Carl that I should make him do the polar plunge with me.
Yeah, and what I told Vinny was that's a bad one because it's 8 months away.
No,
it's in February, right? We're in July still, buddy.
Oh yeah, maybe.
It's a long ways out.
Well, I would like some company in the lake, is all I'm saying. This way, you can't like weasel out of it, and
Why are you doing the polar plunge? Do you
because
like
I
doing
lost to
this?
Brian. Brian beat the shit out of me in that match we had.
See, you like doing the polar
I
plunge.
don't like doing the
Consequence, guys.
See, motherfucker, taunt me more. Taunt me more right now, bitch. Taunt me more.
All right, you're right. I love you, Vinny. You're
You
the best.
fucking rat in a trap. Taunt me
Come
more.
on, buddy. We're going to go to Gary, all right? We decided we've made a whole change in just 1 week.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to look at the chat. I'm looking at the
Oh, yeah, let's look at
comments.
the chat. Let's see what people are saying. Maybe the biggest super chat will get the consequence.
Carl already
Yeah.
wants to send money to Podcast Hitman. That's right. Oh, a lot of people saying Bryan Johnson is the best, and that's true.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
Agreed.
nice.
Thank you, Brian, for doing.
I've been wanting you to have
Thanks
to
for
do a
having me.
2-hour song loop for a really long
You
time.
have. We've been talking about that for
and
a
that
while.
would take up the most time.
Yeah.
But I think the thing that would suck the most is the knife edge chops.
Okay.
And that would be a real fun YouTube video.
Okay.
So, Carl, you're getting knife edge chopped, buddy.
Motherfucker.
You're going to chop you down.
That's not the one I want.
Like the edge of my hand. You're going down.
No, this is going to be delivered by your WWE buddy?
Yeah.
Okay.
3 knife edge chops. You can handle that, right?
I don't know if I can or not. I've never done professional wrestling
Well,
before.
here's the thing, Carl. You remember that rule you brought up earlier? You could decide, and I'll just pick something. You could back out of it right now and just, you've already welched once on something.
Well, okay, you just said 2 different things right there.
I've said the rule you brought up is people could refuse something,
Yeah.
but then I get to pick. But I already get to pick, so you might as well refuse it now instead of backing out later.
I'm not going to back out. We'll do the knife edge chops.
Okay. All right. I'll
You're
see
the
if I can
worst.
get Colin here next Monday.
You are the worst.
I'm a pretty bad guy.
Now, can I write the script to our match though? Can I at least?
Oh, there's no match. There's just you have to take your shirt off.
He's gonna piss me off and be like Hogan, like,
Yeah.
oh no, you should have done that, Colin.
After the first one, I'd love to see you try to lift your arm up to be able to do the finger, the no thing.
This is really gonna hurt me, isn't it?
Oh, you're gonna have to do it after the show, I would imagine. I'll have ice ready and stuff for you.
Jesus Christ, Vinny. This sounds horrendous.
Yeah, we want to see that red chest for sure.
Yeah.
This sounds horrendous, buddy. Why are you doing this to me? Did you ever think, when you called me, said, "Hey, I got an idea for a podcast. Will you do it with me?" That this was all just for 3 years later, just having a pro wrestler beat me up? Is that that was the goal all along?
And you call me slow. Here we are. Pulling into the station, folks.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right.
All right.
I gotta change
Carl,
the
Carl,
Airbnb I got for us in
Carl,
Detroit. It's
Carl,
too nice. I
Carl,
gotta change something.
Carl.
There.
Carl.
Yes, sir.
People are making a point. And
Oh.
here's the thing that does.
What's the point?
Fuck.
What do we got?
Well, I did this thing with XPW not too long ago where we had like a pro wrestling thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed to like broadcast you doing wrestling, any wrestling stuff. I have to find out.
Yeah.
Because if they had to have an ambulance and paramedics. and
Yeah,
all their
it's hard
shit.
to sanction violence against somebody. I don't know if you thought this all the way through, Benny.
All right, Buffalo Bills make me want to shout 2 hour song loop. It is, cocksucker. Fine, fine. When do you want to schedule it? You can do it from your house whenever you want to, but the Bills better make you want to shout for 2 hours.
Oh boy, who's gonna want to watch that? That's gonna be.
Who
torturous
cares?
for
I don't give a
everyone.
fuck.
Torturous for everyone.
We just need to make sure that people. Oh, I'm sure people will watch it and monitor it. I hope they stream snipe the hell out of it.
Yeah, keep sniping
Brian,
it.
do you want to do a show where we stream snipe Karl doing his consequence?
I mean, I think the question is, why wouldn't I want to do it?
Right, exactly.
All
Oh
right,
my God.
Karl.
By the end of that, I'm gonna have a Dolphins jersey on. Probably. I'll be so tired of that shit.
I'll have one on standby. That's way easier than an ambulance.
Radish Diff with €2. Pass the spin to Brian. I mean,
Too late. He's singing.
It'd be very difficult to
Yeah.
do.
Ladies and gentlemen, what an episode. What a great show we had today. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Do we have any more super chats?
Yeah, Gut for $2 says PETA definitely puts down a ton of animals.
That's what I heard. And I think that they kind of kept that a secret and it got out and they lost a lot of money.
Oh,
Yeah.
that I knew something happened because
They couldn't just get
disappeared.
television actresses to pose half nude for that thing. Do you remember how they had that for about 5 years?
Yes.
That was so lame. It's kind of hot. That made me like animals. a
Yeah, I
little
don't
bit.
know, like half naked celebrities. That's never annoying to me.
Okay.
It's when they open their mouths.
Stop touching my board.
No, I like your board. I want to play with it.
Get your fucking goblin fingers off my
Shut
board.
the fuck up. One more coming in here. This is from Uncle Sammy Poo, $5. Hi, Bunny.
You know. Look at this. I got Karl's
You got my
board.
board over there. There you go.
Oh my God.
All right, this show is devolving right now. Let's wrap things up here, Vinny.
What? Yeah, I just want to point out, I'm looking at Karl's soundboard, and there is nothing that's labeled like creep off drops. It's all WATP,
Stop it.
WAPS.
There's 2 different creep off boards on there. You can see it right on the left side. It's 2 different ones, just devoted to the creep off.
Oh, I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was wrong. I take it back. All right, it's nice to be important. Make
It's
sure.
more
I'm sorry. We were going to end on that part, but I was just to say, make sure you check out Tell 'em Steve Dave if you haven't already.
Yes.
Brian how can we plug you, man?
That's about it. Yeah.
we
That's
plug
all.
your holes, buddy.
If you go to tellhemstevedave.com, it's all there.
TellHemSteveDave.com. So it's nice to be important.
It's more important to be nice.
Yeah.
Oh, we're both using your mouse. Sorry.
Yeah. What are you trying to
I
do
was
to
trying
me
to hit
here?
the close for it. I was ready to do it.